Hello my dear students, I welcome you all for this lecture. So in this lecture we will discuss about the chapter number 6, that is electromagnetic induction. So in last video we have discussed about the introduction part of electromagnetic induction. So what is meant by this electromagnetic induction? It is the phenomenon of generating electric current by varying magnetic field. Okay, it is the phenomenon of generating electric current by varying magnetic field. So suppose you should consider one wire at one end to another end. Suppose the current is flowing through that wire, then surrounding of that wire the magnetic field is produced in it. So as same as here, the exactly opposite process of that is only the electromagnetic induction. Okay, so here you should vary the magnetic field. You should vary, okay, by changing magnetic field you should produce the electric current. That process is known as what? The electromagnetic induction. So here by experiments, okay, we will prove the electromagnetic induction. Faraday and Henry, these are the scientists, they have studied the electromagnetic induction by doing three experiments. Okay, so that first experiment is current induced by a magnet. First experiment is current induced by a magnet, or it is also known as coil magnet experiment. Using one coil and one magnet, we should do the experiment. So second one, that is a current induced by a current, that is coil experiment. And third one is current induced by a changing current. Okay, it is also the coil using two coil experiments. We'll do the experiment. So using these three experiments we should study the electromagnetic induction. So here, that is the Faraday's experiment number 1. Suppose you should consider here the one coil. Okay, suppose one coil and bar magnet. Whenever the north pole of the bar magnet is coming closer to the coil, so this coil is this end is behave like a n pole, and in this coil the one end is connected with the galvanometer and another end of the coil is connected to the galvanometer another end. Whenever the north pole of the coil is coming closer, north pole will be coming closer to the coil, that time the current flowing through this and the galvanometer shows some deflection, and the current flowing through this will be the anti-clockwise direction. Okay, whenever the current is flowing to this is anti-clockwise direction, and whenever the n pole coming closer to this, it behave like a n pole and it opposes the motion of the bar magnet. And after that you consider simultaneously another end, okay, another one coil, and whenever the s pole will be moving away from this, okay, n pole coming closer to first coil means obviously s pole is moving away from the coil, that time this end of the coil is behave like a n pole, and after that it attracts, okay, s and n they will, okay, attracts, and after that the in this coil the clockwise direction the current is moving in it, clockwise direction current is moving in it, and exactly opposite to this, suppose the s pole is coming closer to the first coil, then the coil in the coil, suppose the current is flowing through it and the clockwise direction current is flowing through this, and this end behave like a s pole and it opposes the motion of it, and simultaneously whenever n pole moving away from the coil number 2, that time the s pole behave like a this end behave like a s pole and the anti-clockwise direction current is flowing through the coil. Okay, so suppose that only we will see here. Suppose the N pole of the magnet. Okay, the north pole of the magnet, whenever coming closer to the coil, that time what happens? The NN, okay, north pole repels and it opposes the motion. But whenever the coming closer to this, okay, that time what happened? The N pole, okay, here it opposes the motion of it, but the whenever it is in motion, the bar magnet is in motion, okay, and the coil is constant, that time the galvanometer shows some deflection, okay. This arrangement, okay, consists coil and galvanometer, okay, and that is coil is connected to the galvanometer and another one is a bar magnet. When the north pole of the bar magnet is pushed towards the coil, whenever the north pole of the bar magnet pushed towards the coil, that time what happens? The galvanometer shows deflection in one direction. The galvanometer shows deflection in one direction, and this indicates that the current is induced in the coil. This indicates the current is induced in the coil, and when the magnet is brought to rest, okay, you should take the magnet is also rest, okay, and after that the coil is also rest, that time the deflection of the galvanometer is zero, okay, so it reduces to zero. Therefore whenever both are at constant state, there will be the no deflection and no current is flowing through the coil. When the magnet is pulled away from the coil, when the magnet is pulled away from the coil, the galvanometer shows deflection in opposite direction, and this indicates that the current is induced in opposite direction. The current is induced in opposite direction. After that, when the south pole of the magnet is pulled away from the, okay, when the south pole of the magnet, whenever pulled away from the coil or towards from the coil, okay, so then the deflection is opposite to that observed in north pole, okay, exactly opposite to north pole that observed as a south pole. And after that the deflection of the galvanometer is large. The deflection of the galvanometer is large when the magnet is moved faster towards or away from the coil. Okay, that is what the deflection of the galvanometer is large whenever the coil is moving faster, okay, towards or away from the coil. Whenever the bar magnet motion is faster, okay, then the deflection is more in this. And here when the coil is moved keeping in the magnet at rest, okay, the effects are observed as same. Okay, that means suppose you should take bar magnet as rest, then move the coil, okay, this coil is moving towards or away from the coil, the same observations are observed in the galvanometer, okay. So therefore the magnetic flux linked with the coil changes relative to the positions of the coil and the magnet due to the magnetic lines of force cutting at different angles at the same cross-sectional area of the coil. Okay, so see here these are the magnetic field lines present in that bar magnet. Okay, whenever coming closer and moving the away from the coil, that time, okay, the magnetic flux linked with the coil will be changes. Okay, so the magnetic field lines force cutting at different angles are the having same cross sectional areas of the coil. Okay, that is the meaning. Then after that some observations of experiment number 1, Faraday's experiment number 1. Okay, so that is what the current induced by a magnet experiment. Okay, in this arrangement, okay, consists the coil with the galvanometer and the bar magnet. The first observation, when the north pole of the bar magnet is pushed towards the coil, the galvanometer shows deflection in one direction. Okay, the galvanometer shows deflection in one direction. This indicates that the current induces in the coil. Okay, so it indicates the current is induced in the coil when the north pole is coming closer to the bar magnet. Okay, so galvanometer shows some deflection means the current is present in the coil. Second one, when the magnet is brought to rest, the deflection in the galvanometer reduces to zero. Means when the bar magnet is brought to rest, the deflection in the galvanometer reduces to zero. Okay, so whenever the bar magnet is at rest state, you brought to rest, okay, motion to rest state, that time the deflection in the galvanometer is zero, means the coil is having no current. So third one, when the bar magnet is pulled away from the coil, the galvanometer shows deflection in opposite direction. This indicates that the current is induced in the opposite direction. Okay, when the bar magnet is pulled away from the coil, the whatever the current showing in the galvanometer, that is opposite to first condition, and it indicates that the current is induced in a opposite direction. Okay, so the current is flowing in the coil is opposite whenever the current galvanometer is showing opposite deflection, means whenever the magnet is moving away from the coil, that time the galvanometer shows deflection is opposite. The next one, when the south pole of the magnet is moved suddenly towards or away from the coil, the galvanometer deflection are opposite to those observed with the north pole. Okay, so whenever the you take the south pole of the bar magnet coming closer to the coil, okay, south pole of the bar magnet coming closer to the coil, then the galvanometer shows one side deflection, and whenever the south pole of the bar magnet is moving away from the coil, that time the galvanometer shows opposite deflection. Then the galvanometer deflection are opposite, exactly opposite to that observed in a north pole. Next one, the deflection of the galvanometer is large when the magnet moves faster towards or away from the coil. Okay, the deflection of the galvanometer is large whenever the motion of the bar magnet is fast. Okay, whenever the motion of the bar magnet is faster, that time the galvanometer, okay, deflection is large. Then next one, that is the when the coil is moved keeping the magnet at rest, the same effects are observed. Okay, whenever the magnet is rest state, okay, and you should move the coil towards or away from the magnet, that time whatever the effects observed, okay, that will be same as the previous. Like this, the first experiment is there. Okay, so by using first experiment we will see that the whenever the either coil is in motion, either the magnet is in motion, then only the current is present in the galvanometer. Okay, then only the in the coil some current is there, okay, and galvanometer shows some deflection. Whenever both are at rest state, then there will be no current produced in it. Okay, so next one, so that is observation of the first experiment, the relative motion between the coil and the magnet. Okay, so in this experiment what to observe, Okay, that observations will be what? The relative motion between the coil and magnet. Okay, motion between the coil and magnet will be observed, and the induced polarity of magnetism in the coil. Okay, so the polarity of the magnetism in the coil is induced. Okay, that is also observed. And the third one, the direction of current through the galvanometer and hence the deflection in the galvanometer. Okay, so we'll observe the direction of current through the galvanometer and the deflection present in the galvanometer. So here we will observe the current is clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction using galvanometer. After that, we'll see the observation that the induced current, that is only the EMF, is available only as long as there is a relative motion between the coil and magnet. Okay, so in this coil and magnet experiment, either coil is in motion state or the magnet is in motion state. Relative motion between that two will be having only induced current, or that only the produces the EMF. If both are at constant state, okay, both are at rest state, that time the no current is present in the coil. It means the galvanometer will be showing zero deflection. So whenever the motion between the either coil is there or the magnet is there, okay, that is the relative motion between the coil and magnet, then only the EMF produced in the coil. So we'll see the note. The coil can be moved by fixing the magnet. Okay, first condition is what? Coil is at moving state and magnet is the rest state. Both the coil and magnet can be moved towards or away from the each other. That is, there must be a relative velocity between them. Okay, and the third one, that is a magnetic flux linked with the coil changes relative to the positions of the coil and the magnet. When the magnetic flux linked with the coil changes relative to the positions of the coil and the magnet. And that is last one, the current, and hence the deflection is large if the relative velocity between the coil and the magnet, and hence the rate of change of flux across the coil is more. So like this we'll see the first experiment. So that is the coil magnet experiment. So second experiment, that is a Faraday's second experiment, that is experiment number 2, coil experiment. Okay, so we'll describe the experiment coil experiment, that is current induced by a current experiment. It is also known as current induced by a current. So in this we'll use the two coils. P and S are the two coils. The P is connected to the here the suppose one battery, okay, cell, and also we'll connect the one key, okay, and after that in another S coil is connected with the galvanometer. Okay, one end of the coil is connected to the galvanometer one end, another end is connected to the another end of the galvanometer. So here, that is the two coils. Using two coils we will discuss the this experiment. Okay, that is only the coil experiment or current induced by a current experiment. So here P and S are the two coils. Okay, so suppose the when the primary circuit is closer to the current grows from 0 to maximum value. Okay, so first we will discuss about the here the two coils. Okay, primary, suppose you should take P as a primary coil and S as a secondary coil. When the primary coil is closed to the, okay, take closer to the secondary coil, okay, that time the here the galvanometer shows some deflection in the coil. Okay, galvanometer shows some deflection in the coil, and after that the here suppose the motion, the primary coil is coming closer to the secondary coil, then this part of the coil is behaving like a south pole, and obviously this part is also behaving like a south pole, and in this coil, okay, anti-clockwise direction current is moving, and this opposes the motion of the coil, primary coil. Okay, secondary coil opposes the motion of the primary coil. During this period, the changing current induces changing magnetic flux across the primary coil. Okay, so whenever the current is induced in the coil, okay, when the motion of the primary coil is there or the motion of the secondary coil is there, okay, or the both motion, relative motion between the P and S coil will be there, then only the current is induced in it. Means the change in period, okay, in this changing period, then only the current is changing. If the current is changing, then only the magnetic flux is present in the coil, primary coil. Okay, the magnetic flux is present in the primary coil. The next one, this changing magnetic flux is linked across the secondary coil and induces EMF or current in the secondary coil. Changing magnetic flux is linked across the secondary coil and induces EMF or current in the secondary coil. So changing magnetic flux is linked across the secondary coil, and means whenever the S pole, okay, is, suppose here you should take the primary coil, this is secondary coil, okay, primary coil to secondary coil, whenever the primary coil to secondary coil is moving away from it, okay, the motion will be primary coil to secondary coil. Whenever it is moving away from the primary coil is moving away from the secondary coil, that time the S pole is, okay, S pole of the primary coil, okay, is a one end, and if it is moving with the secondary away from the secondary coil, so this end behave like a N pole, and S and N pole, okay, attracts, okay, so therefore the this changing magnetic flux is linked with the secondary coil is induces EMF, okay, so current is present in the coil and it induces the EMF in the secondary coil. So this means whenever the anti-clockwise direction, the primary coil is having the current as anti-clockwise direction and the secondary coil is having the current in a clockwise direction. This induces EMF, and hence the deflection in the galvanometer lasts only as long as the current in the primary coil, hence the magnetic flux in the secondary coil changes. Okay, so whenever the either the primary coil is in motion state or secondary coil is in motion state or both are having relative motion between each other, then only the EMF is produced in it, and the deflection in the galvanometer lasts only as long as there will be the having some current in the primary coil. and hence the magnetic flux in the secondary coil changes. Okay, hence the magnetic flux in the secondary coil will be changes. Then next one, in this experiment we'll see some observations. Okay, so suppose see, whenever the two coils, when the coil number primary coil, okay, when the primary coil is pushed towards the secondary coil, that time the galvanometer shows deflection in one direction. Okay, the galvanometer shows deflection in one direction, and this indicates that the current is present in the secondary coil. And when the coil S, okay, secondary coil S is pulled away from the primary coil. Okay, whenever the secondary coil is pulled away from the primary coil, that time the galvanometer shows again some deflection, but exactly opposite to that. Means whenever coming closer, primary coil coming closer to the secondary coil, that time the current in the secondary coil will be anti-clockwise direction, and primary coil moving away from the secondary coil, that time clockwise direction current is moving in it, exactly opposite to first one. So when the coil is primary coil is moved suddenly towards the or away from the coil, the same effect is happened. Okay, means one you should take primary coil, you should take either in motion, or you take primary coil at rest state and secondary coil is in motion state. That time same effects will be happened, but exactly opposite to previous one. And when the two coils are held at rest or moved with a zero relative velocity, then the deflection in the galvanometer reduces to zero. Okay, so maximum to zero, it reduces, deflection in the galvanometer reduces to zero whenever both are coming to the rest state. And the deflection of the galvanometer is large whenever coil are moving faster towards or away from the coil. Okay, so like this, here the Faraday's experiment, second experiment is performed, and after that we'll see the some observations. Suppose the primary and secondary coil are the two coils, and the secondary coil is connected with a galvanometer and primary coil is connected with the battery. When the coil P is pushed towards the coil S, the galvanometer shows deflection in one direction. This indicates that the current is induced in the coil S. When the coil P is pulled away from the coil S, the galvanometer shows deflection in opposite direction. This indicates that the current is induced in the coil S in the opposite direction. Okay, means primary coil is constant state and secondary coil is motion state. That time whatever the observation happened, that will be exactly opposite to when S coil is motion and the P coil is constant state. Okay, so that is exactly opposite. P is pulled away or uh, moving towards, that time the whatever the deflection will be happened exactly opposite to it. When the coil S is moved suddenly towards or away from the coil P, the same effect is observed. Okay, so when the S pole is, okay, S coil is moved suddenly towards or away from the coil, that time the same effects are observed. When the two coils are held at rest or moved with zero relative velocity, okay, that time the galvanometer will be zero deflection. It means there will be no current in the coils. And after that, the deflection of the galvanometer is large when the coils are moved faster towards or away from the coil. Like this, the second experiment we should perform, and we'll see the third experiment. Okay, so in third experiment, we'll see the two coils. Okay, and the first coil is connected with a battery and tap key. Okay, this is a key, and after that, the another one is a second coil is connected with a galvanometer G. The arrangement consists of two coils. Okay, suppose this is a primary coil is connected with the battery and tap key, and secondary coil is connected with a galvanometer. When the key is pressed, okay, whenever the tap key is pressed, then the galvanometer shows a deflection in one direction. Okay, so the galvanometer shows deflection in one direction, and it returns to 0 immediately. Okay, whenever key is pressed, then the galvanometer shows one side deflection, again it reduces to 0. And when the key is released, when the tap key is released, that time the galvanometer shows deflection in opposite direction, and again it returns to 0 immediately. Again it reduces to 0 immediately. When the key is pressed continuously, the galvanometer does not shows any deflection, means there will be no current in the secondary coil. Okay, whenever key is pressed continuously or released continuously, that time the galvanometer shows 0 deflection. It means what? Here there will be no deflection in the galvanometer, means the secondary coil is having no current. And after that, when the iron rod, okay, is inserted into the coil along the axis, okay, the suppose this is a iron rod, okay, and that is inserted along this axis, okay, that time the galvanometer deflection increases enormously. Okay, so that is the inserting the coil in that coil, okay, in one axis, the one iron rod, if you will insert in it, the galvanometer deflection increases enormously. So like this we'll discuss the three experiments. So by using these three experiments, okay, so we'll discuss the conclusion of this experiment. Okay, so what is the conclusion of this experiment? So when the primary circuit is open, current decreases from maximum value to 0. In third experiment, okay, when the primary circuit is open, then the current decreases from maximum to 0 value. During this period, the changing current induces changing magnetic flux across the primary coil. During this period, the changing current induces changing magnetic flux across the primary coil, and this changing magnetic flux is linked across the secondary coil and induces current or EMF in the secondary coil. So change in magnetic flux is there, then only the EMF is produced in the secondary coil. Okay, if change in magnetic flux is there, then only the current is produced in the coil, then only the deflection is in galvanometer, then only the secondary coil is having some EMF. Induced current is there or EMF is present in a secondary coil when the change in flux is there in primary coil. However, we note that the direction of current in the secondary coil is reversed, and hence the deflection in the galvanometer is opposite to the various cases. Okay, so here by using this three experiment we conclude that, okay, so there will be, whenever there is a change in magnetic flux linked with a closed circuit, an EMF is induced in the circuit. Okay, if the change in magnetic flux is there, then only the current is present in the circuit. It means the EMF is induced in the circuit, and this exists as long as there is a change in magnetic flux exists. Okay, so it means this phenomenon is only known as what? Electromagnetic induction. Okay, so result of these Faraday and Henry experiment is what? Whenever there is a change in magnetic flux linked with the coil or circuit, then the EMF is induced in the circuit. It exists as long as there is a change in magnetic flux exists, and this phenomenon is known as magnetic induction. Okay, so by using this, the Faraday is given the laws of electromagnetic induction. Okay, Faraday is given the laws of electromagnetic induction. So that is the first law. Whenever there is a change in magnetic flux, whenever there is a change in magnetic flux linked with the circuit, an EMF is induced, and hence the change in induced hence the current is induced in the circuit. However, it lasts only as so long as there will be the magnetic flux is changing. Okay, so whenever there is a change in magnetic flux linked with the circuit, okay, and an EMF is induced, hence the current is induced in the circuit. However, it lasts only so long as there will be the magnetic flux is changing. Okay, and or it means what? The magnetic field, okay, or the magnitude of the EMF is induced in the circuit is changes, then only the flux is induced in it. Okay, whenever the magnetic flux is changing, current is there in the coil, therefore EMF is induced in it, therefore the magnetic flux is changing in the coil. And the second law is what? It is the magnitude of the induced EMF is directly proportional to the rate of change of magnetic flux linked with the coil. Okay, so that is what the E is suppose the EMF induced in the circuit. E is what? EMF induced in the circuit is directly proportional to rate of change of magnetic flux d phi by dt. E is directly proportional to d phi by dt. So that is what the EMF induced in the coil is directly proportional to the rate of change of magnetic flux linked with the coil. And therefore suppose the proportionality to equal sign you should take one constant. Suppose k is a constant, okay, and therefore E is equal to k into d phi by dt, and it gives the E is equal to d phi by dt, or else it is a suppose the whenever k is equal to 1, constant is equal to 1, okay, therefore E is equal to d phi by dt, and the E is equal to phi 2 minus phi 1 by t. Okay, E is equal to phi 2 minus phi1 by T. So like this, the Faraday explains three experiments. Using that three experiments, they are given the laws of electromagnetic induction. The first law is what? That is, whenever there is a change in magnetic flux linked with the circuit, the EMF is produced in the circuit, therefore current induced in the circuit. However, the it lasts only so long there will be the magnetic flux is changing. And second law is what? The magnitude of the induced EMF is directly proportional to the rate of change of magnetic flux linked with the circuit. So today we'll stop here and we'll see in next video again the Faraday's law and Lentz's law of the electromagnetic induction. Thank you.